It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day, coming to you on WODU Studios, the best in college radio. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, with my two co-hosts, Khalid Lewis to my right, Rashad Pennell to my left. Coming to you after a big weekend in sports. We had, obviously, Golden State playing two pivotal games in their chase for the 73 wins record. And, of course, they tied it at this point, the Bulls record of 72 wins. Then we had the Masters also. Congratulations to Danny Willett and the monumental collapse from Jordan Spieth. And we had Manny Pacquiao winning this weekend over Timothy Bradley. There's so much sports that went on this weekend. But to get things started, how you gentlemen feeling today? How you guys doing? It's feeling. I noticed something. Every single time I always ask y'all how y'all are doing. I never even say how I'm doing. You know what, guys? This is the first morning where I woke up. My eyes didn't feel any kind of sag or nothing in them. You know what I mean? I normally wake up about 6 o'clock so I can start watching Mike and Mike. And
you take me to work then.
I'm okay.
You just enjoy yourself. You take me to work.
I'm okay.
You're pushing it.
Yeah, I'm okay. Your system's already been in place. It's been in place for about the whole semester. No need to change things up now. Yeah. Why fix what's already don't fix what ain't broke. Anyway, but yeah. And I was watching Mike and Mike, and I didn't feel any kind of lag, I was like, wow, is this the product of Kobe dropping 35 or something? Like, why does a brother feel so darn great? But how both of you guys feeling today? I'm feeling fantastic. Brother feel like he got a new lively body and everything. Probably going to end in about 10 minutes or so. But how you guys feeling?
Surprisingly, I'm feeling the same way. Like, I went to bed late last night, and I was waking up all through the night because of my toothache. But then, like, this morning, I was just up at 7:30. I was like, okay, I guess it's time. Got up out the bed, got in the shower. I was ready to go. And then, I'm probably going to crash in like 20 minutes myself. At least it was a good start.
I hear you. What about you, Rashad?
It was a good morning until I found out you'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning now. When I'd be walking in the cold rain, depressing, long walk.
First of all, it's not like it rains every day. Let's get this straight. Let's not
rain. I was having a good morning until I found out you could hold me down.
It wasn't even raining outside for a while.
I know, but other days.
You know what I'm saying? Like
other days.
He noted the worst possible situation, and he didn't acknowledge the fact that we've had bright and sunny days for the past 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And yeah, now you want to just say, oh yeah, it was raining. And, I walked through a blizzard. Darn well ain't snowed here since December.
Man.
Oh man,
it'd be a struggle walking at 6 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't know you'd be taking me to work because that parking is rough here at Old Dominion. Everybody who's watching that knows parking is rough.
Like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And your system is already working and fine. Have you gotten to work every time? Yes. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There ain't no issues. But y'all, let's talk about these topics for today. Today we're going to be talking about obviously the Warriors and Spurs game. And that was a great game in itself. Then the importance and the relevance of the 72-win mark that the Warriors have tied now at this point in the season. And then we'll get into Johnny Manziel moving in with Von Miller, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, and if there's a possible reuniting for the two in Denver. And then we'll talk about maybe possible, if there should be a Manny versus Floyd part 2 with the two possibly facing each other, even though they both have seemed to be resolute in retiring at this point. But let's jump right into it. The Spurs and the Warriors played last night. It was a thrilling game throughout most of the game. The Warriors won 92-86. It was a great game from Stephen Curry. The boy just shows you new ways each time to get amazed by his feats. He dropped 16 in the third quarter. You just don't even know what to say. You don't even have enough superlatives for it anymore. I think he dropped like 10 in the second in the fourth quarter. You don't even know what to say anymore. It wasn't like he was doing it all from 3-point range. He was doing it his 2-point shots. He was just chefing people up in there, and yeah, and it seems like this game, in a way, it had kind of playoff implications in a degree, depending on how you watched it. I watched it with a kind of an analysis eye to see how each team performed and versus the past few meetings they've had. But what did you guys think of this game? Colin, we'll start with you. What did you think about this Warriors versus Spurs game?
First of all, the Warriors surprise me every time. We said that maybe that back-to-back for them is going to be tough. It ain't look like it was tough for them at all. Because first of all, they beat the Spurs first, and then they beat Memphis, and then they beat the Spurs.
Didn't they play Memphis on Saturday? Yeah, they played Memphis on Saturday.
He's talking about that's the past 3 games.
Yeah, the past 3 games.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go on. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about just the weekend. My fault. Go ahead.
Nah. But yeah, they just surprise me every time. First of all, Stephen Curry, I always shout out to this man dropping 37 points for the game. Another thing, they were breaking records left and right. First of all, they ended the Spurs win streak at home, and they won a game there. And then it's been like since 1997 or something.
Yeah, February 14th.
That's crazy. And they was the ones to beat that. They broke a record for being the only team in NBA history to not lose to the same team in the same season. Well, they lose twice to the same team in 2 seasons. Never lose back-to-back games. A bunch of other things. And then not to mention to tie the record with the Bulls, and they're on the verge to breaking that. So, I mean, the game was amazing. The Warriors team is just a great organization. And shout out to my man Steve Kerr. Scottie Pippen even showed Steve Kerr some love on Twitter, and Stephen Curry. You got to shout out to that man's coaching and just the whole team, the whole organization in general.
Okay, Rashad, what did you think about the game?
It was a great performance by the Golden State Warriors bench. Because if you see, they held it down for going in the fourth quarter. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson actually, and Draymond Green were all able to sit out for 6 to 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, while the bench players built the lead for them. So when you have your bench players playing like that, and then the MVP dropping 37, there's nothing really you can do about that. You can't really control what's going on. Harrison Barnes got hot in the fourth quarter. He turned it on. He pretty much took the role of Steph Curry, and while Steph Curry was on the bench, because he was just pulling threes. Taking it hard to the basket. Harrison Barnes did what Harrison Barnes was supposed to do. Draymond Green didn't have a big game, but we still see his impact in the game made a difference. You still have the people who be like, well, they didn't have Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan didn't play. They didn't get the ball to Marcus Aldridge enough. You're gonna hear stuff like that a lot all the time. Just to find something negative about what the Warriors are doing, that's great. But the first game, all the Spurs played, and then all the Warriors played, and same outcome. The Warriors still won. So, the only thing I take from this game is that the Warriors played their game, played up tempo, managed to hit shots, managed to have Steph Curry going off, and I think the Spurs need to realize that you have a force down there with LaMarcus Aldridge. You need to constantly give him the ball. You need to give him the ball like I used to do Tim Duncan when Tim Duncan was in his prime, because Golden State had no answer for LaMarcus Aldridge. It just kind of went away from him.
See, the way I watched this game, because I was watching it with the view of all the past games they played and how each team played each other in the past games, and then how each team shot in those past few games. And in watching those games, because there are going to be those people that say Tim Duncan didn't play, but it's weird to me because we had the people that say that, we had the people that say Festus didn't play and Andre Iguodala didn't play in that Spurs win. So it goes both ways for that as a point to that matter. And realistically, in this game, Boris Diaw didn't play either, who was one of the biggest key differences in that Spurs win at home on March 18th when the Spurs beat the Warriors. Boris Diaw he started over Tim Duncan actually, so he was actually a big difference maker in that. And when he played, so him not playing today or yesterday, you saw the difference it made. But it's also funny to me to realize how, because they both the Spurs lost by 6 points, and I looked at it as one of those things, because I'm going to microanalyze now, because whenever Golden State loses, we always micromanage and say they didn't shoot the ball officially, they didn't shoot the threes well and everything. So I'm going to do the same thing for the Spurs now, because when I look at it from the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard didn't hit a 3 in the game. He shot 7 of 22, and this is only a guy that shoots about 50% on the season. Shot 7 of 22. He was 0 of 3 from 3. Danny Green didn't hit a 3. Nobody in their starting lineup hit a 3. Danny Green was 1 of 7. Tony Parker was 2 of 7. David West was 2 of 7. The only guy in the starting lineup that shot efficiently was LaMarcus Aldridge, and their bench didn't play well either. Yet they only lost by 6 points. And on the flip side, I look at it from Golden State's point of view. Klay Thompson shot. He was 6 of 14. He was 2 of 4 from 3, so he shot 50% from 3. Then Draymond Green didn't take a lot of shots, but he was 4 of 5. Harrison Barnes, he struggled a bit. He was 3 of 10. He was only hit 1 3 on the night, and he had 9 points. So you look at those things, and you see it. This is one of those games that the MVP legit showed up. It was who has the best player in the game and who doesn't, and it was Stephen Curry, and he was able to get his shots to fall, because there was a lot of looks that I saw Kawhi Leonard getting that just weren't falling, or little mid-range shots that the Spurs normally would hit.
This might have been a bad night for everybody.
Yeah, it seemed like it was just a rough night. And then But a big thing that changed from the Spurs in the first half to the second half is that they were getting offensive rebounds like it was nothing in the first half. They had 13 offensive rebounds in the first half, and they were getting second chance points off of it. In the whole second half, they only had 5. So that change in offensive rebounds definitely made a difference for them. They were forcing turnovers from the Warriors, and it seemed as though at some point that the Spurs are kind of having sloppy turnovers. But when you look at it, for the whole game, they only had 11 turnovers. And their win on March 18th, they had 17 or 18 turnovers. So it's weird. It's weird to say. I guess it just came down to who could hit their shots more. Because when you look at it, the Spurs only hit 3 threes of the game. They shot 17% from 3-point range. The Warriors shot 37%. And then as a field goal percentage, the Spurs shot 37% and the Warriors shot 44%. So pretty much this game was the culmination of just bad shooting on both fronts, but one team just shot a little bit better.
How come? I do have a question for you guys. So when the Spurs beat the Warriors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a low scoring game, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson both had awful shooting performances.
Mm-hmm.
How come? I feel like in a sense, I don't know, maybe not, but like in a sense, like we're not giving Golden State Warriors defense credit when we gave the Spurs defense credit. I mean, because in a sense, like those are guys who constantly hit those, shooting 40% from 3-point line, stuff like that. And then when they're off, that defense just has nothing to do with it. But can we not say the same thing right now with the Golden State Warriors defense, that maybe there was a reason that the team shot so bad other than Marcus Aldridge?
Their defense played a part in it, but just like we did for the Warriors when we said those are shots they normally would hit, we got to do the same thing for the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
We can't backhand, compliment one guy and then not be able to do the same thing for one guy. Just like for the Warriors, we said up here and we said Stephen Curry would normally hit a lot of those threes he gets. Klay Thompson normally hits a lot of those threes he gets. They just weren't hitting them.
Yeah.
Just like in this
same
game
thing with Kawhi Leonard.
When is Kawhi Leonard gonna go 7 of 22 and go 0 for 3 from 3, and Danny Green's gonna go 0 of 6 from 3. And it's not like Danny Green takes contested threes. His threes most of the time are open. Yeah. Danny Green's a spot-up shooter. So when is he going to go 0 of 6, 1 of 7 from 3? He only had 2 points in the whole game. And that's your knockdown shooter. And then Tony Parker, 2 of 7. That man, his shots are pretty much mid-range down. He didn't even attempt a 3. And he didn't hit anything. So it was just Golden State's defense did play a big part in it. It's just
they also just had a bad night.
Yeah, they had a bad shoot and then only lose by 6. So I'm hoping, man.
That's crazy.
It's one of those things. I'm hoping that this ends up being a playoff matchup because
if they both come together, like their team both healthy and they playing at 100% and they hitting shots back to back, it'll be like a great series.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's one of those series that you just look at it and even though it's something to a degree. Definitely the Warriors season is overshadowing the Spurs season, but the Spurs almost could have went 41-0 at home, which never has been done before. And I mean, we had two teams in the same season that could have done that. The Warriors, until they lost to the Celtics, at that point they were 37-0 at home. And so you look at it and you're like, wow, both of these teams could have possibly went 41-0 for this whole season. So they're both having great seasons. And even though we acknowledge teams like Oklahoma City and the Clippers, I mean, these guys are definitely 1A, 1B in the Western Conference. And a team like Cleveland in the Eastern Conference is probably you're probably looking at them in that same, even though they're at the top of the East, you're probably looking at them in that same area. You're kind of looking at Oklahoma City and to the Clippers to a lesser degree, because Oklahoma City to me is better than the Clippers. But
their play doesn't display it though.
What?
Oklahoma City's play don't display that they're better.
Well,
they're too shaky of a team. They're just too shaky.
They play well in spurts. It's really weird. How they just reeled off that 8-game winning streak out of nowhere. It's really Oklahoma City doesn't make any sense. That Oklahoma City's like one of those teams, you know what I mean? They have the talent, so you just roll the dice with them. And you're like, we'll see how it goes, but you never know in totality how Oklahoma City's how they're gonna perform. And it seems as though, I mean, obviously they're undefeated when Russell Westbrook gets a triple-double. So they haven't lost yet when he has a triple-double. But in the same sense, it's like, man, it takes this Herculean effort from a guy in order for y'all to never lose. Like that's amazing. But staying